I think that when you try to water down your messaging to appeal to everyone, you sort of appeal to no one.
Angela McArdle is the chair of the Los Angeles Libertarian Party, who plans to run for chair of the National Party in 2022. She's affiliated with the Mises Caucus, which believes libertarians have been far too willing to compromise their principles and water down their rhetoric to make alliances with the political left or right. They reject the need to make Faustian bargains in the interest of gaining mainstream acceptance. She thinks Jorgensen began the necessary process of recalibrating the party, which she says should be less Gary Johnson and more Ron Paul.
When you look at the general composition of the liberty movement, not just the Libertarian Party, it looks a lot more like Ron Paul than it does Gary Johnson. And I don't know a lot of libertarians who tell me that they were inspired by Gary Johnson. Did he let people know the party exists? Yes. But did he light a fire in anyone's heart? No.
McArdle believes the best use of the National Party is to inspire activists to get involved with the state and local parties, where candidates have a better shot of actually winning.
You need to think about realistically, what are the chances that we're going to just jump up rapidly and get a third of the vote? It's not likely. I think that it's much more likely that you would run a principled campaign and see over the span of 20 years the grassroots organizations that support libertarians, libertarian county parties and state parties build up their voter base while relying on national presidential campaigns to help them.
The Libertarians.
We need someone at the front of the National Party who is not afraid to talk about issues that are controversial. We need someone who is going to make libertarian statements and not worry about offending the left. Because why do we waste our time pandering and begging for votes from a group of people who ultimately aren't going to like us?
For instance, McArdle believes the Libertarian Party should have differentiated itself from the Democrats and the GOP by taking a strong stance against the COVID lockdowns by holding an in-person convention.
We're not going to get there if we run candidates who are afraid to talk about the issues, if we run candidates who are afraid to oppose the lockdown, or candidates who are constantly parroting the virtue signaling of the left, afraid of sounding too anti-authoritarian. That's not going to get us there. We've got to speak boldly.
Several libertarians, including McArdle, also criticized the Jorgensen campaign's adoption of Black Lives Matter rhetoric in a tweet telling her followers it's not enough to be not racist, but necessary to be actively anti-racist.
Oh, did they click like on a Joe Jorgensen tweet about Black Lives Matter? Did they show up to the polls? No. Did they change their voter registration? No. Are they really joining the Libertarian Party? No. The Libertarian Party needs to disregard PC politics. If there's a situation that comes up that we could talk about the value of individual Black lives, we should absolutely do it. It doesn't mean that we need to co-opt their language and be afraid of offending them when we talk about the ramifications of the drug war. We can just speak the truth, because that's what we should be doing.